You know that there's a broadcast and shit going on, right? Oh, it is right now. Hi, people on the World Wide Web. Give me your money. Scott Miller don't give it away for free. For all the Presbyterians in the crowd. Back when freedom was a stranger, but it was something we felt. Well, I had myself a girlfriend. Couldn't believe it myself. We take a Chevy Citation, the one a friend would let us use when we got tired of waiting for what we wanted to do. I had her crawling up the window. She had me shaking in my seat. I could smell her on my fingers. She said it tasted so sweet. Just some West Virginia back roads. There never was much else. Jam a tape into the player. I couldn't believe it myself. Well, the drums, they shook the speakers. The bass, it shook me to the core. If the boss had been a preacher, he could have led us to the Lord. And she knew all the lyrics, and they sang so true. Just two rock and roll spirits with nothing better to do. With me? Now the past, it is a stranger, and I found someone else. I got car payments and a mortgage. I can't believe it myself, but I don't mind getting older if you get smarter when you do, and the burdens at your shoulder, well, that's what defines you. Sure, they crushed the Citation. I know the 8-track broke. We're such a complicated nation, but we still made it rockin'. Rockin'. I'm so glad to be back at the Duck. You don't even know. This is a song. Can I get a glass of water when we get a chance? This is a song about a hurricane in 1969 that they called Camille. And you all are way too young to remember Camille, but here's the song. Shall we gather at the river? Would help if I did that. In 69 when Camille came, you had to jump in the river to get out of the rain. The water rose so fast, so high, the cattle bawled and drowned all night. The mountains took it until they gave. The river bridge had washed away. My cousin fished from the front porch steps, and Granddaddy looked at the river and said, "That's not me. It is me." It's this thing. It's making me nervous. You guys are awesome, and then there's 1.8 billion other people like I wish. But Anyway, my cousin fished from the front porch steps. Granddaddy looked at the river and said, "From the mountains, through the valleys, to the ocean, where it ends, it can never be that river again." Well, she had blue eyes with rings of fire. I was hers and she was mine, and the sun was hot and the river just right. We skipped rocks all day and we rolled all night. We both knew what lay around the bend. Summer loves will always end. When the walnut leaves fell, we went back to school, drifted away, and the river did too. From the mountains, through the valleys, to the ocean, where it ends, it can never be that river again. The river flows and time goes by. Love's still hard, but I still try. I've seen it muddy, I've seen it calm, I've seen it do whatever it wants, but it can never be that river again. No, it can never be that river. Hey, I think after I fucked that up, everybody probably clicked off the link. So it's just us now. I feel much better about everything. Man, it's just I've so much to tell you, but it's good to see you again. About 2 weeks ago, I was working some cattle at my neighbors, and got hit in the face with a gate, and got knocked out and bit my tongue, scratched my cornea, and I looked really bad, and I couldn't get anybody to tell me, like when it happened. I had my hand over my face, and to the guys, I was like, all right, I'm going to pull my hand away, and you tell me what everything looks like. I really thought I'd crushed everything. And they were like, it was too much, because they were like, you just sit where you are, man. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Anyway, I thought that'd be good news to all the vegans. How am I ever going to be me? How am I ever gonna be me? How am I ever gonna be me, Lord? How am I ever gonna be me if I'm not who I'm supposed to be? A mother's son, a father's boy, a brother's friend, a sister's joy, a cousin true, an uncle cool, and who knows a father too. A shy recluse who once shut in, a patriot, a citizen. Why was I born a mystery? How am I ever gonna be me? How am I ever gonna do right? How am I ever gonna do right, Lord? How am I ever gonna do right and do what's good within your sight? Sometimes my best is good enough. Sometimes I bluff that I am tough. I've turned my cheek instead of fight. I made them wrong when they were right. If you help those who help themselves, how comes the meek don't fare so well? And I have prayed with all my might. How am I gonna ever do right? How am I ever gonna be saved? Oh, how am I ever gonna be saved, Lord? How am I ever gonna be saved when I have lived a life depraved? I worship money, murdered Cain, used your names at times in vain, worked on Sundays, rocked and rolled, wanted bad enough I stole. She came to me, what was next door? It's not like we had met before. Oh, tell me, what else can I say? How am I ever gonna be saved? How am I ever gonna find peace? How am I ever gonna find peace, Lord? How am I ever gonna find peace? Will it be on a golden street with big parades and pretty girls and cotton candy colored swirls of waving fields of springtime sun that war's been never waged upon my lover's arms, my first release? How am I ever gonna find peace? Is that all right? Come on now, I'm in show business. I need the affirmation. We don't have to worry about the World Wide Web anymore. I run a pretty loose show. If there's something you want to hear, you can yell it out as long as I wrote it. And then, but I'll just keep going here. Here's a song that I wrote and did with the great Patty Griffin. It's called Angels Dwell Among Us. Here we go. Down in the basement where I spend my time, cheating solitaire and stealing rhymes. When I'm thinking that I'm all tapped out, she gives me something just to sing about. When I don't have hope, when she sees that I just don't care, she still finds me something when there's nothing there. Saints alive, and saints be praised, angels dwell among us still these days. Saints alive, and saints be praised, still these days. For the crooked smile on her face, for the perfect fit of her embrace, for the wind moved by our parting wave that stays behind my back and keeps me safe. Saints alive, and saints be praised, angels dwell among us still these days. Saints alive, and saints be praised, angels dwell among us still these days, still these days. I didn't think it was that bad. Are you all okay? Did you eat a lot of fish and chips so you're a little sleepy or something? Or you okay? Remind me. All right. As a farmer, the price of diesel and fertilizer is killing me, and as a musician, the price of diesel and my bullshit fertilizer is killing me. This is a song called 8 Miles a Gallon. Well, the Ford 460, it's an engine pretty mean, shitting out bolts and pissing gasoline. 7 1/4 tons of pure mule power, rolling down the road at 8 miles a gallon. Well, you hit the hammer lane and mash the engine to the floor, and the CB's crackling with the truck stop whore. It's hard to hear the 20 when the engine valves rattle, rolling down the road at 8 miles a gallon. Democracy and gasoline, a world of rock and roll. I'm praying every day that you can make it through the battle, so I don't feel so guilty about 8 miles a gallon. So I invent a big engine, make it run on bullshit. Put it on the highway, buddy, it would never quit. Invent a big engine, make it run on bullshit. Put it on a train track, buddy, it would never quit. Invent a big engine, make it run on bullshit. Put it on a chassis, buddy, it would never quit. Invent a big engine, make it run on bullshit. Put it on the highway, buddy, it would never quit. From Washington to Arlington to the House of Sod, they all been eating shovels so they can have a job. I'll be living happy in the Shenandoah Valley, running down the road at 8 miles a gallon. Is that okay? I didn't mean your Arlington in that song. I meant the other Arlington. Are you all right? All right. I'll quit worrying about you. This is a song called, my grandmother taught in a small town in Virginia, Clifton Forge, Virginia, which my friend Steve Tuttle said would make a great name for a country artist, Clifton Forge. I should have picked that when I started in the business instead of just Scott Miller. I should have been Clifton Forge, and my career would be better. Anyway, she taught in a little small town there for a while before she got married, and she taught math and Greek, and so I'm showing off. Here we go. The song's called Epic Love. When it's so hard on the living that they envy the dead, and you were snake bitten on the day we were wed, that I walked straight into hell just to get you myself. I should have never looked back. I still feel bad about that. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. It was an epic love. As good as my word, I was a liar for sure. You went and stayed with your parents. I wrote you all kinds of letters. I took 10 years to get back. I still feel bad about that. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. So much. It was an epic love. Some men will go I could drink you forever, and I could swallow you whole. But if we're not together, I got to know that you know I loved you so much. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. It was an epic love. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. I loved you so much. It was an epic love. An epic love. Thank you. Oh, you're the best audience ever. Still with me? I did a little work during the pandemic. Had the farm to run. I tried to write some. I heard, there were a lot of writers that I heard. We have this new radio station. Well, it's not new, but it's new to us in our county seat in Stanton, Virginia. I'm from Virginia, Shenandoah Valley. I'm saying that for the people out there, and because I know you all know it. Anyway, it's volunteer run. It's awesome. Not just because they play me, but independent radio is about the only place that'll play me anyway. But there'll be like a girl on in the afternoon who'll be like, "That was the Cars with Best Friend's Girl. And if you like your best friend's girl, you shouldn't be breathing air. Do you hear me, Brad?" Yes, it is streaming. WQSV.org, I think, maybe. Anyway, that's just some of the great shit that goes down on that. And some local writers will send in their songs they wrote during the pandemic, and I think I know a little bit about songwriting, and they were like, I'm like, ooh, that didn't have a good shelf life there. So I did a show in East Tennessee during it that they did at the minor league ballpark in East Tennessee. And so what they did was they brought in cars and checkerboarded them in the giant parking lot and broadcasted over an FM station like you do at the old drive-in movies. So I wanted to write a song for them. So I wrote this song, and I decided I was going to mention every state because everybody would have an atlas in their car, right? And I had this whole comedy bit about it. You follow along in your atlas, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, girl comes up after the end and is like, "You missed 2. So that's how this song that mentions all 50 states got its title. It's called New Hampshire, Montana. Here we go. Well, Virginia love and Alabama tide, Tennessee, those Mississippi eyes, Georgia peaches in her pie, and those West Virginia thighs, Kentucky shirt and jeans from Caroline, crawfish back Louisiana, Texas two-step cross Nebraska's plate, South Dakota, I don't care. Well, Arizona's too hot to panhandle. Oklahoma never felt so right. Her Nevada daddy liked to gamble. That Alaska would be dark and not too bright. So Connecticut me off the Jersey Pike. It's fun to drive the Keystone State at night. What did I weigh? Hawaii anyway. The old New York had everything I liked. The more you talk, the less I like you. Let's find a starboard port in Orico. Michiganders can be very spiteful. To Ohio, but I got to go. So Californicate me on the coast. It's a long distance Colorado. Or here, Oregon, Washington, Washington. Wyoming, Minnesota. New Hampshire, Montana. Thanks. So you see, my pandemic was not spent in any kind of intellectual pursuit. Cleaning out the farmhouse, my dad passed since back in last May. He was 92, and we were there, and he was ready. It was all good, and but I still have his giant set of Encyclopedia Britannicas, and I called that. I retroactively call that that shelf in the kitchen there the wall of Google. It's where all the manuals for the tractors and everything were, and the encyclopedias, and the Merck manual, and the Merck veterinary manual, and all the stuff. Anything you need to know, you went to that bookshelf, and that's what it was. And I was like, I'm going to write a song that mentions every state. Sorry. Anyway, speaking of states, this is a song about the great state of West Virginia, a little town in it called Spanishburg. You've been there. Here we go. Siento, Spanishburg, West Virginia. Lo siento, Spanishburg, West Virginia. Well, the TV's off 'cause there's nothing on. All the hometown fans are in the stands since the team won state 'cause the coach was great. Then they hired him down in Peterstown, but he didn't win. Now he's back again. The next batch of kids could not commit. They were big enough, but not that tough, and thought the single wing was just a passing thing. I guess the will to win is oft forgotten when old times there are Oxycontin. Lo siento, Spanishburg, West Virginia. Lo siento, Spanishburg, West Virginia. Well, the jobs are lost and the war it cost. This kid came back from Iraq, had it pretty comfy, 'cause he drove a Humvee for an old diehard in the National Guard. Thought he was safe, though the town got strafed, or an occasional mortar from across the border. He'd always joke in the emails he wrote, he'd tell his mom not to worry none. He was spending his time winning hearts and minds until he picked up a can and he lost his hands. Lo siento, Spanishburg, West Virginia. writer came from a magazine, wrote the whole town up for the AARP, called it #1 place to retire. So the rich folks came, the taxes got higher. With their healthy hair, their perfect spouses, they built these mansions and giant cow palaces. Now the effete and the elite are all walking around with their noses up as they look down on the people born who could not afford to live in their own town. No more Siento. They even renamed it Spanish Trace. Spanish West, by God, Virginia. Smile when you say that. Needed is when everybody was happy. We thought it was over, and I ended up playing a lot of these sort of civic art centers, which were very lucrative. But rich people don't buy merch. That's how they stay rich. I figured that part out. But anyway, I would play this, and there was this darling old lady right in the front row, and every time I'd have a dirty line or something, she would wince like an arrow hit her in the head. And then I started getting self-conscious about it and be like singing the whole time, be like, oh God, here comes another one. What the hell? How did my mother ever let me get out of the door saying these kinds of things? So I didn't do the last verse of this song because it would have killed her. I got enough to answer for when I get to heaven. I'm not going to kill some poor little lady in North Carolina. But this last verse is the town people of Spanishburg, and they're more like the Greek chorus, if you will, standing on the side of the stage commenting on what's going on. And they sing, fuck all y'all, all y'all, just fuck off. Fuck all y'all, all y'all, just fuck off. Lo siento. Spanishburg, West Virginia. Oh, y'all are the best audience ever. Remind me. I'll do those after this one. This is one on the newer record that came out before the dark times. I wrote this song with Robin and Linda Williams, and so I wanted to name drop them to say that you know who they are. They've written hit songs for Emmylou and other people, and you've heard them on Prairie Home Companion. Well, they live in Virginia, right near where I did. Right in town. And we get together and write songs every once in a while, and this is one that I brought that we worked on. It's called 10 Miles Down the 9 Mile Road. Here we go. 10 miles down the 9 Mile Road, there lived a man named Wilson, a farmer with 2 worthless sons, but a daughter who was strong. It said she had a spiteful heart, and that her love was poison. Dolly Wilson was her name, and to her I was drawn. Well, she nursed the old man to his grave soon after his wife married. The sons, they farmed it to the ground till nothing there would grow. So she packed her bags and she headed north, bound for Harper's Ferry, but settled down in Shepherdstown, just down the 9 Mile Road. 10 miles down the 9 Mile Road. Before I realized that Dolly's love was poison, now it's too late to turn back. 10 miles down the 9-mile road, lying round the bend, Dolly Wilson's poison love, here I come again. I fell hard and Dolly Wilson made me feel so worthy. But anything that feels that good can make you feel that bad. She scratched her name into my neck and held me without mercy, but called me by her brother's names whenever she got mad. 10 miles down the 9-mile road, before I realized that Dolly's love was poison, now it's too late to turn back. 10 miles down the 9-mile road, lying round a bend, Dolly Wilson's poison love, here I come again. All right. Well, who can say what love weighs, but you know it's heavy. In spite of her, I carried it as far as I could go. Dolly Wilson's poison love only leaves me empty, and I get my fill of empty 10 miles down the 9-mile road. 10 miles down the 9-mile road, before I realized that Dolly's love was poison, now it's too late to turn back. 10 miles down the 9-mile road, lying round the bend, Dolly Wilson's poison love, here I come again. I don't know. Well, she smells like a biker, and she cackles like a jackal, dressed to kill in that new pantsuit. You can see the static crackle, all the lovely Sunday dinners. She complains that they're too spicy, and those migraines out the yin-yang like she's slurping on an icy. She's an old stick in the mud, now she's stuck in my craw. Lord have mercy, she's my mother-in-law. Well, if you take her out to eat, she's a thrifty little booger, starts up filling up her purse with little tiny packs of sugar, and you better run for cover if she takes off those shoes. They must smell something awful, 'cause they done turned her hair blue. She sends me on the path to heaven by giving me some hell. OMG, she's my MIL. Well, I admit she's kinda cute with that while, then she'll smile. But you give that gal an inch and she'll take a country mile. You can't get her to shut her mouth. Once the conversation's rolling, it's hard to eat your dinner when she's moaning about her colon. She's an old stick in the mud, now she's stuck in my craw. Lord have mercy, she's my mother-in-law. I don't know. You still with me? I said, are you still with me? Okay. I don't know if I believe you. I'll get there. This is another new one I did during the dark times. There's a band of good Mennonite boys from down the valley, which is north of me, near Harrisonburg, called the Steel Wheels. I don't know if you've heard of them or encountered them, but they're a great band, and their main songwriter is a guy named Trent Wagler, who's a lovely human being. And he'd come down and we'd sit 6 feet apart and try to write some songs. And remember, they're Mennonites. And then I had this idea for a song. I don't know if this is going to make sense to you or anybody. But it was going to be called Like a Simile. And Trent was like, I don't want any part of any kind of grammar nerd shit that you're doing. And I said, you know, if you had called, instead of being the Steel Wheels, if you had called your band Mennonite Ranger, you might be better off. Anyway. This song is called Like a Simile. I hope you enjoy it. Shining so bright on a road that was winding, snow on the ground, so I turned out the lights even while I was driving. And she sat beside me and looked like a wildflower smells, and I looked like I'd done my best in the worst of hotels. Her daddy kept all the bad boys away, but you cannot hide money, all dressed up like a window display, like a chalice of honey. Confide boucher, she still knows more than you think. She sits in the front seat and stares straight ahead like a sphinx, like a rock, like a river, like a harmony, like a freight train. She was like a simile. What's the use of a love you can't use? Like an empty revolver, like a preacher with secondhand news. I was never a talker, though I'm a good lover. She still found a way to complain. When I hear the thunder, I don't stick around for the rain. Like a rock, like a river, like a harmony. when you're born in the South. Southern hearts ain't that simple. She moved away, but I stuck around. Now I'm creepy and single, but I sleep like a baby ever since she showed me how. Curl up like a cat by a wood stove and swallow all doubt. Like a rock, like a river, like a harmony, like a freight train. She was like a simile. Thank you. A growing song needs support. I appreciate that. I'm still working on it. Songs are like your children. People ask me, hey, what's your favorite song you wrote? I'm like, well, which is your kid is you love more? And it's usually the dumb songs that make you the most money. I got a brother like that. He's a terrible student. Now he can buy and sell us all. I'm retiring. Like, how does this happen? Well, the Amtrak XCrescent is a northbound train. When you can't afford to stay no more in New Orleans. So I bought the cheapest ticket and I carried my clothes. And the blood beneath my eyes from a broken nose. 'Cause when life goes wrong, it just goes on and on. When life goes wrong, a train rolls on. Well, there ain't no ham like the Birmingham to make a fella want to stay in Alabama. But I crossed into Georgia in the Eastern time, and I dare to eat a peach to take it off my mind. That when life goes wrong, it just goes on and on. When life goes wrong, the train rolls on. Somewhere between right and wrong, somehow I've managed to keep moving on, searching for any place but where I am, any first and second chance. 'Cause at a stop in Charlotte, found a hog's leg joint. It seemed like forever till we reached High Point. The Lynchburg to Danville is a ghost-filled rail. If you listen, you can hear the engineer's wife wail. That when life goes wrong, it just goes on and on. When life goes wrong, it just drags on. Across the river you can change your tune, like all the sons of bitches up in D.C. do. When life goes wrong, the just go on and on when life goes wrong. You listen to them just drag on. Somewhere between right and wrong, somehow I've managed to keep moving on, searching for any place but where I am at a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth chance. You know, it used to be pretty on the eastern shore. Now it's more New York down to Baltimore. It takes so much effort just to move one train. Why does everything around me have to look the same? Like when life goes wrong, it just goes on and on when life goes wrong. It just drags on when life goes wrong. It just drags on and on, on and on and on and on and on. Good people. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm going to wrap it up here soon, let you get back to your... Okay, I'll keep going, but anyway. I'm glad to see... been playing a lot of places where they put seats in, and some places they put seats and people stand, or you can stand if you want. You can sit down and do what you want. It's your body. You can do whatever the fuck you want to with it. I don't care. An Appalachian Greyhound station. She sits there waiting in a family way. Goodbye, brother. Tell Mom I love her. Tell all the others I'll write someday. From a teenage lover to an unwed mother, kept undercover like some bad dream. Unwed fathers, they can't be bothered. They run like water through a mountain stream. A cold and gray town, a nurse says lay down. This ain't no playground, and this ain't home. Someone's children out having children in a gray stone building, all alone. From a teenage lover to an unwed mother, kept undercover like some bad dream. Fathers, they can't be bothered. They run like water through a mountain stream. Somewhere else bound, Smoky Mountain Greyhound. She bows her head down, humming lullabies. Your daddy never meant to hurt you ever. He just don't live here, but you got his eyes. From a teenage lover to an unwed mother, kept undercover like some bad dream. While unwed fathers, they can't be bothered. They run like water through a mountain stream. Yeah, they run like water through a mountain stream. Thank you. You're the best. I love this place. I do. It's like, you know how lucky you are to have it. I'm so glad it survived. Treat it with respect. Oh, this is not going to be pretty right here. I made a mess of this town. Now every sidewalk crack either knocks me down, breaks somebody's back. Every face I see as I look around says it's time to leave. You made a mess of this town. I did. There's people you meet, then there's people you know. Some keep you on your feet, and some don't let them go. That's why I sit at the bar and I dream of the day I get the means to mean what I say. I'm gonna leave this town in a cloud of dust with a 50-cent lighter. Then there'll be a day when I come back around, when that wow says, 'cause I made up Thank you. I would like to dedicate that song to the old Allen Park Inn, one of the great rock and roll hotels. Back in my day, it's gone now, though, right? Well, it burned down from sin. Oh, the volcano. how many nights I don't remember at the volcano. Oh. Are you okay for a few more? Here we go. All right. Somebody requested this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. Some days will never be enough. Some days will always be too much. Some days your work is all in vain. Some days ain't worth a goddamn thing. Sometimes you're called upon to help. Sometimes you have to help yourself. Sometimes the worst thing is the truth, that your best will still not do. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Someday and sometime. Some days you wish they just would end. Some days you'll want to live again. Some days are harder than the rest. Some days are easy to forget. Sometimes you get just what you want. Sometimes you've had it all along. Sometimes you don't know where to go. Sometimes you're not supposed to know. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Someday and sometime. Some people live life from the heart. Some people find that much too hard. Some people know where they belong. Some people decide to move on. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. Ashes gray and dry as dust. A return to the earth. Someday and sometime. Okay, I'll wind up with this one. Thank you so much for coming out. And generally what I like to have been do is I'll just meet you outside, and I'll recognize you because you're going to have my merch in your hands. So you've really been great, and I'm so happy to be back out and see you. Thanks for coming out. All right, I'm serious. I didn't rehearse that part. This is a kazoo. Remember I talked about how like my dumb brother made the most money? This is a dumb song that made me a ton of money. I don't know why. I bought a lot of cows with this song. climate not so good lately, but price is coming up. Fertilizer and diesel fuel are killing farmers right now, and the fertilizer is going to come back to bite us in the ass very soon, because that's what makes the world go round. And as my father would say, a blade of grass does not care where it gets its nitrogen, but it needs it. So anyway, ever since we crawled out of the slime, or were made people by a divine, before the Irish made Irish stew, we've had to watch out for the people who rule. Presidents, kings, czars, and potentates, Ivan the Terrible and Catherine the Great, Napoleon, Genghis, Ramses 1 and 2. We always remember the people who rule. The history of mankind is brutish and short, but evident truth should stand up in court. Whether your state, republic, or commonwealth is red or it's blue, always be wary of the people who rule. Thank you. Before I do this last verse, I'd like to remind you I'm not either left or right or anything. I'm poor. And for you people out there on the web watching for free, Scott Miller, and I did just refer to myself in the third person. Scott Miller, don't give it away. It's just my opinion. But for what it's worth, someday the meek shall inherit the earth. Then we gotta worry about the meek too. There's something with power and the people who rule. Thank you all so much. Thank you. All right, fuck the World Wide Web. I mean, I always like to say that I write music for smart people.